Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Coach Jason. Hope you're doing well. So, my last video, I went over developing runners for like the 5K and the 6K races, whether it be on the roads or cross country, and whether it be if you're an athlete or a coach, um, and workouts that you can utilize from 800 meters all the way up to mile repeats. Um, and I've done three kind of options. Today, I'm going to do developing athletes for the 8K and the 10K. And again, whether it be on the road or the track or cross country, being an athlete or a coach, some workout sequences that you can use. And what I like about this guide is, particularly if you're a coach, how do you know how much your younger or more inexperienced athletes should do versus the older, more fitter and more experienced athletes? Should they do the same volume? Should they do scaled back pace, so on and so forth? So I broke it down in such a way, treating it as if you're a college coach or a college athlete, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Same thing applies. If you're just a track coach or a club, and you have athletes that are also training for these same type of races, whether it be this or the 5K and 6K, and I'll put that in the description down below. So make sure you take a look at that. How do you distinguish how much some folks should do versus how much other folks should do? Are they a middle distance runner versus distance runner? What are their needs? Where in the season are we? And so on. I broke it down to workout 1, workout 2, workout 3, and how it progresses along the way for every year, for every level of experience. So you could see the progression, okay? And I'll go through it in full detail. Okay. And by the way, if you like fully detailed stuff like this, fully detailed training programs, this channel's for you. If it's your first time, welcome to the channel. And if you like stuff like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell next to it so you don't miss videos that I'm going to be putting out moving forward. But you also have access to the 100+ videos I've got out already. And I've got fully detailed training programs from 800 meters all the way up to the marathon for a bunch of different levels. So be sure to take a look at that, and always take a look at the description down below. I put several training videos as well in there. And everything I do is fully detailed from beginning to end. So if you're going to watch any of the videos, watch them in their entirety. Don't stop it and write stuff down, and because I don't want you missing important details, okay? And if you do happen to subscribe, please let me know in the comments down below so I can thank you personally. I appreciate your support. My regulars, thank you all. And by the way, I'm a USATF certified coach, and I was a former competitor at the high school, college, and post-collegiate levels, and I've been coaching at all 3 levels for the past 20 years. So the things that are in my videos are all from experience, stuff that I've learned and kind of turned into my own training system. So, and I have worked with beginner athletes all the way to, athletes that are elite, from sub 14-minute 5K for folks to very, very fast marathoners and so on. So, with that, let's get to it. I'm going to sit down for actually right now for a little bit because I would be decapitated. Actually, let me see. I'll stand up. Okay. Let's start with 1,000-meter repeats, okay? I'm going to give you thousands, 1,200-meter repeats, mile repeats, 2 kilometers, and 2-mile repeats, okay? A whole bunch of different options that you could use, all right? Workout 1, workout 2, workout 3. Let's say they're 3 to 4 weeks apart from each other. What you do in between the workouts is obviously important, and how you progress along the way, but this will show you, give you indicators of progression, okay? So, 1,000-meter repeats. Let's say the college freshman, I have them starting doing 6 by 1,000 meters with 1,000-meter efforts with a 2-minute recovery, and then 5 by 200-meter efforts on the back end with a jog equal recovery. That's obviously a faster pace, probably closer to 3K mile pace, but that gives you 7 kilometers worth of total running. Okay, build them up to the point where they're training for 8K and 10K. The first 2 workouts, generally the freshman, sophomore, I generally build it up to 8K volume. The junior and senior ones, I build it up to 10K volume. So you can see the difference whether you're coaching Division 3 or 2 or 1, where there's 8K distances and 10K distances, okay? And you can modify it to your liking, okay? Now, workout, and then the sophomores, I have them doing 7 times 1,000, okay, with a 2-minute recovery at a prescribed pace, okay, with a 5 by 200-meter efforts on the back end as well. So it's 8 kilometers worth of running, but broken up into 2 segments, okay? Juniors, 8 times 1,000, okay, with a 2-minute recovery, okay? This could be at your current 10K pace or 8K pace, or progression from your current to goal. This isn't something that I generally do week 1 of the season, depending on how fit your athletes are coming in, or how fit you are coming into the season. This might be a couple of weeks into the season and so on, okay? Really depends on everybody's fitness. And then the seniors, I have them doing 8 times 1,000 with 2-minute recovery, 4 by 200 meter efforts with a jog equal recovery, 200 meter jog recovery. Okay, this teaches them how to turn over when they're already fatigued. But you'll see, as you get a little bit older, more experienced, the volume gradually gets higher. Okay, but you modify as needed. Some people need more, some people need less. Some people respond better to more, some people respond better to less. Okay, and before I go any further, prescribed pace I mentioned. Okay, how do you get to the prescribed pace? The 2 videos down below that I recommend you watch. Okay, one is called the 1 mile time trial, and it gives you an idea of how to establish your current fitness or the current fitness of your athletes based on what they've run. And I don't encourage anybody to do it unless they've been running 6 to 8 weeks prior to, because it'll give you a more accurate indicator of your current fitness. But what that allows you to do is tells you what your abilities are, not only for the mile, but where your equivalents might be at that point for 800 meters, 400 meters, and then 3K, 5K, and longer stuff. And then the other video is how to set the appropriate training paces based on what you just ran or what your athletes just ran in the 1 mile time trial. It makes sure that you're training in the right zones, okay? Last thing you want is your faster people training with the slower people, and the slower people trying to hang on for dear life just because you want to tighten the pack. If they're not ready for it, it's going to be counterproductive. Everybody should be training at the zones that that generally are accustomed to their current fitness, okay? Because it'll make sure that everybody's progressing along the way. If you do that, the gap will close naturally, okay? The people in the back will eventually close their way up to the front, but you will have some athletes that progress a little faster than others. But the best way to do it is to make sure that people are training in the right training zones and proper training paces. So keep that in mind. Keeping them fit, keeping them healthy, preventing them from getting injured and sick, or both, is paramount. That's why I always recommend training in the right zones, okay? And again, for recovery as well. The people in the back are not going to recover the same way from the people in the front if they're doing the same workout at the same pace. So keep that in mind too, okay? So workout 2, 3 to 4 weeks later, freshmen have progressed from 7,000 meters of broken piece running to now 7,000 meters of kilometer effort. So they go from 6 to 7 times 1,000. with the same 2-minute recovery, and then they've added 3 times 400 meters in the back end. So another 1,200, so there's a little over 8 kilometers of running now, okay? A little over 5 miles of running, okay? These have a 1-minute recovery in the back end. They're essentially from 3K to 1 mile pace, right? Sophomores go from a broken down 8 kilometers to 8 kilometers consecutive, 8 times 1,000 with a 2-minute recovery, okay? The juniors go from 8 times 1,000 to 9 times 1,000. We've added a rep, okay? And remember, you could either repeat this workout, okay? And if you want to do the same workout 3 times, that's fine. The idea of progression is to make sure that they can do it a little bit faster each time and recover better each time, okay? Or you can add volume at the same pace or slightly faster pace, depending on where their fitness is at. So they're indicators of progression. Really depends on what you feel is most appropriate, okay? The juniors, so 9 times 1,000. And then the seniors do the 9 times 1,000, but on the back end, we've added 3 times 300 meters on the back end. And this stuff on the back end teaches them to turn over when they're already fatigued, to simulate the end of a race, okay? Kicking, finishing hard. 1-minute recovery, again, from 3K down to mile pace. And now workout 3. Now we've built up to kind of full capacity, full volume. This is towards kind of championship season, towards your peak races. So the freshmen have built up, and now they're doing full 8 times 1,000 meter efforts with a 2-minute recovery. The sophomores, 8 times 1,000 with a 2-minute recovery, but we're adding 4 times 200 meter on the back end at about mile pace with a 200 meter jog recovery. The juniors are up to 10 times 1,000, 2-minute recovery, and the seniors 10 times 1,000 with that same 2-minute recovery, but we added the 4 by 200 meters on the back end with a 200 meter jog, just like we did the sophomores. Now keep in mind too, remember, this is generally, I'm just doing this for 10 kilometers of total volume, how to build from 8 to 10, and these two how to build from 6 to 8, depending on what division you're coaching. Keep in mind too, some folks might have 10, some folks might have 8, and some folks might have 6 or 8. This gives you an opportunity to either start them all together and have certain people finish together at the end, or let the full capacity, like your older runners, start, and then you phase in the younger athletes so that everybody's finishing together at the workout instead of starting together. There are certain ways you can do it. Okay, this gives you an opportunity to kind of push the sophomores and the freshmen a little bit and see how well they can hang with the older folks towards the end of their workout, which is the end of the older folks' workout. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. Okay, now let's move on to the 1,200 meter repeats. Okay, freshmen, 5 times 1,200 meters. Notice it's the same volume as the 6 times 1,000, 6,000 meters. This 2-minute 30-second recovery, okay? And then on the back end, 2 by 600 meter efforts with a 90-second recovery. So it's a total of 6 times 1,200 meters, okay, 7,200 meters. And remember, the longer the reps get, that's an indication that they're either fitter, or you might have some athletes who might be better off doing thousands, some might be better off doing 1,200s. It really depends on who you're working with and what you feel is best, okay? Sophomores, 6 times a 1,200, 230 recovery, and on the back end, the same 2 by 600 meter efforts with a 90-second recovery. So the total is 7 by 1,200, 8,400 meters, okay? Juniors, 7 by 1,200 consecutively with a 230 recovery. Seniors, 7 by 1,200 again consecutively with 230 recovery, and then we're adding those 2 by 600 meters on the back end with a 90-second recovery. That's at a maybe 5K pace if you can run the 600s that fast. Okay, that's a total of 6 miles of running. Okay, 8,400 plus 1,200, 9,600 meters, 6 miles of running, just a tad bit less than 10K. Okay, but by the time seniors in college, juniors in college, they should be able to handle that type of volume early on in the season. Not every workout has to be that way, but at the very least, I would have them doing one workout if they're not racing that week, one workout like this to get them accustomed to that volume again. Okay, running hard at that volume. Okay, workout 2. Again, 3 to 4 weeks down the road. Freshmen have now moved on to 6 times a 1,200, so we added a rep, same 230 recovery, and then 4 by 300 meters on the back end. Okay, sent 3K down to mile pace with a 100-meter jog after each one. Okay, so again, this total of 7 by 1,200 meters. So we've added 1,200 meters worth of volume to the workout. Sophomores, now they're going 7 times 1,200 consecutively. That's their full workout. 230 recovery. Okay, the recovery is going to be the same for everybody. It's going to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that'll be uniform as we move up to everything else. The recoveries will be the same throughout these progressions. Okay. Juniors, 7 by 1,200, same recovery, and 4 by 300 meters on the back end with a jog 100-meter jog recovery, 3K down to mile pace. Okay. Seniors, 8 times 1,200 consecutively with the same recovery. Okay. So you notice the progression from one year to the next. You're adding a little bit more at the longer repeat. Okay, as they get more experience, as they get fitter. Okay, and workout 3. Freshmen are now doing 7 times 1,200, so a little more than 8K or 5 miles worth of running. So again, at the Division III, if the goal race is, even if they're not in college, if the goal race is 5 miles, now they've achieved it. They're doing 5 miles of full hard running volume. Okay. Sometimes it takes a while to build up to it. Sometimes your folks can handle the volume early on. Okay. This is a way of building up to it. Okay. Sophomores, 7 by 1,200, same recovery. And then on the back end, we're adding 3 times 200 meters for turnover with a jog equal or 200-meter jog recovery. Juniors, 8 times 1,200, okay, with the same recovery. And then seniors, 8 times 1,200 with the same recovery, but on the back end, 2 times 400, which is slightly over distance. So they're doing 10,400 meters. And then the minute recovery after the 400-meter efforts, 3K down to mile pace, okay? So these are the 1,200-meter repeat progressions, okay? If you've missed anything, watch the video again. After you write all this stuff down, if you decide to do that, watch it again so you could see how I explain the progression. Okay? And you'll notice certain things. As you get more experience, workout 3 for the younger folks becomes workout 2 for the next level. Same thing here. Workout 3 for the juniors becomes workout 2 for the seniors. So there is a progression, okay? So that's how we kind of do it. That's how I've kind of been doing it. And I've used this stuff with a lot of success, okay? So now let's take this down. Let's get to the longer reps now, okay? And again, some folks you might have really experienced folks, and they could be training for 10K and even want to move up for longer stuff later on. So the longer reps are going to come in handy, okay? So the mile reps are 1,600 meters. I'll just call them mile reps. Workout 1, freshman, 4 times a mile. All the recoveries are 3 minutes, okay? Sophomore, 4 times a mile, and then 2 by 800 meters afterward with a 90-second recovery, okay? It's slightly faster than goal pace, so it's 5 miles of total running, hard running. Juniors, 5 times a mile consecutively. Seniors, 5 times a mile with all the same recovery, and then 2 times an 800 meters on the back end at a 90-second recovery, okay? It's slightly faster than goal pace, or close to 5K pace if possible. Again, 6 miles of total running. Workout 2. Now, freshmen are adding some, so they're going to do 4 times a mile with the same recovery, and then 2 times in 800 meters with a 90-second recovery. So their workout 2 is the sophomores' workout 1. Okay, sophomores 5 times a mile consecutively. So their workout 2 is juniors' workout 1. Okay, juniors 5 times a mile with same recovery, and then 2 times in 800. So the same thing. Their workout 2 is seniors' workout 1. Okay, and the 90-second recovery after the half-mile repeat, 6 miles of total running. Okay, and then seniors 6 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery. That's their workout 2. Okay, workout 3, 5 times a mile consecutively for your freshmen. Okay, which is workout 2 for the softs. 5 times a mile with 5 by 200 meter efforts added on the back end. Okay, with a 200 meter jog recovery. Okay, so the mile repeats are the same as workout 2 for your older folks, but we added some speed development on the back end. Okay, since this is kind of max volume for 8K, I want to add something a little bit quicker on the back end. That's where it differs from that. Okay, because this is still heading towards goal volume. Okay, and then juniors 6 times a mile consecutively. Okay, which is the seniors' workout 2, their workout 3, and then seniors 6 times a mile, same recovery, and then in the back end 4 times at 300 meters, but a 100 meter jog recovery at 3K down to mile pace, so a little bit over distance, but at that point you should be able to handle that. And it's good to do some turnover work after you've done the meat and potatoes of the workout. Okay, so you see the progression. Okay, now let's move to 2Ks, 2 kilometers, 5 laps on the track. Okay, or 1.25 miles. Freshmen 3 times 2K. All the recoveries are 3 minutes. Okay, sophomore 3 times a 2K, and then we're adding a 1 kilometer effort on the back end. Okay, so 7K of total running. Juniors 4 times a 2K. Okay, same recovery. Seniors 4 times a 2K, and then we're adding 2 times 500 or a broken 1,000 meter effort on the back end. Okay, so 9 kilometers of total running. Okay, so we've gone from 6K to 7K to 8K to 9K as we progressed. Okay, now let's move on here. 3 kilometers. Okay, 3 times a 2K for the second workout for the freshman. Same recovery, and then 2 times 1,000 on the back end with a 200 meter. With a 2-minute recovery. Okay, so now they're at 8K total volume. Okay, but in pieces. Sophomores 4 times 2 kilometers, 4 times 2K, same recovery, but 8K consecutive, all in one piece. Juniors 4 times a 2K, and then on the back end 2 times a kilometer with a 2-minute recovery, so 10 kilometers of total running, but broken into 2 segments. And then you have your seniors at 5 times 2K. Okay, 5 pieces, all the same meat and potatoes, same recovery, so 10 kilometers of total running. Okay, so now we're goal volume here. Now we're going to expand over here at the goal volume. Okay, freshmen, now they've gone to 1 segment, 4 times 2K. Okay, same recovery, 8 kilometers total. Sophomores, 4 times the 2K. Now we're at goal volume, but then we're going to add 2 times 500 on the back end. Okay, which is 9 kilometers of total volume, but these kind of help you simulate kicking, but instead of kicking out from 100 meters or 200 meters, kicking out from further back. This gives you an opportunity to sometimes take the kick out of some of the faster people. Okay, so thinking about that way too, it's another way of thinking about it. Okay, so 9 kilometers of total running. Juniors 5 times 2K total, 10 kilometers of total running. Seniors 5 times 2K total, same recovery, and then on the back end 4 times 200 meter efforts. Okay, with a 200 meter jog recovery. Okay, turnover after they've done the full workout. Okay, those are 2 kilometer efforts. Now, the longer stuff, 2 mile repeats. I've done these. I've had my athletes do these. Okay, I would make sure that they're ready to do them. Okay, one of the things you want to be looking for is a progressively faster workout instead of a progressively slower workout. So if you don't feel they're ready for this, you have slower repetition options. Okay, you build towards the longer reps over time. Okay, so freshmen and all the recoveries here for the 2 mile repeats are 3:30, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, freshmen 2 times 2 mile. Okay, 3:30 recovery. Sophomores 2 times 2 mile, and then on the back end 4 times 400 meters with a 1-minute recovery at 3K down to mile pace, so 5 miles total running. Juniors 2 times 2 mile, but instead of the 400s, we're going 2 times 800 meters. Also 5 miles of total running. 90-second recovery after the 800 meters. Same recovery after the 2 miles. Seniors 2 times a 2 mile, and then on the back end 2 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery. So 6 miles of total running. Okay. Um, Workout 2. Freshman 2 times 2 mile, and then we're adding 2 times 800s. Okay, with a 90-second recovery. Now they're at 5 miles total, full capacity. Okay. 2 times 2 mile for the sophomores, and then in the back end, 4 times 800-meter efforts. A little over distance for them with the same 90-second recovery. So they're at 6 miles total, but it's broken up into pieces. Okay. Juniors, 2 times a 2 mile, same recovery, and then in the back end, 2 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery. So their workout 2 is seniors workout 1. Okay. And then seniors, 3 times a 2 mile total. Okay. Same recovery. You may have some folks that build up to 4 times 2 mile. That's a significant amount of running at goal pace if you can get to goal pace, or if you can progress from even tempo to goal pace. That's pretty high volume, but I'm just sticking to kind of goal volume right now because of the distance of the race. Okay. Now workout 3, freshmen 2 times a 2 mile, and then in the back end 1 times one hard mile. Okay. They're at full capacity, 5 miles. Okay. We've got sophomores 2 times 2 mile, and then in the back end 1 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery, and then 2 times 400 meters with a 1-minute recovery at 3K down the mile pace. Okay. So they're a little over distance, 5.5 miles. Okay. Juniors, their workout 3 is seniors workout 2, 3 times a 2 mile. Same 3:30 recovery, as close to goal pace as you can, or slightly faster for the last one. And then seniors 3 times a 2 mile, same recovery, and then 3 times 200 meters on the back end for turnover. Okay, with a 200-meter jog recovery. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you like stuff like this, again, please subscribe to the channel. And if I have not put out a video that you'd like to see, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to put something together for you. Okay, I've got a lot more stuff coming as well. So again, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe if you enjoyed this content. I want to continue growing this channel and share my kind of experience with as many folks as possible in as comprehensively detailed way as possible. And if you ever have questions about videos, put them in the comments too. I answer all questions. I have dialogue with all the people that respond to me. Okay. Take a look at my Instagram as well, Black Belt Running Coach 447, and I put out some running content on there too. And if you have questions of a personal nature or coaching nature that you want me to address privately, you can send me an email, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. So feel free to do that. I answer all emails as well. So again, I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great season. Train hard, train smart, be safe. Talk to you next time.